Greetings, dear friends and listeners. Solo pod today. So there we are at the Folsom Outlets. Lennox and Luna, not too jazzed about shoe shopping with their old parents, old and annoying and cringeworthy and embarrassing parents. But we go, first stop was the Nike store. We walk in, and I said, Len, they got Jordans here. Because I see Jordans up on the shoe display thingy. I'm like, Len, they got Jordans here. And he said, I don't care. And I said, it took everything inside me not to say what I really thought. So I said, simmer down now. So we're browsing around. Luna found a pair of Nikes, and Lennox said, is there a Van store here? And I said, yeah. But first, so I didn't bring my wallet. But wifey said, I'll buy you something. And I said, ooh, wifey, checkbook open. Women be shopping. They sure know how to spend money. Am I right, fellas? So I find a nice pair of low-top Nikes. And they were like a really dark midnight blue. Like Taylor Swift said, ooh, damn, never saw that color blue. And I was like, oh, these are nice. I like them. $130. Normally $169.99. I don't believe that price, but that's what the outlets try to sell you on the dream that you're getting premium product for a low end price. And so I was close to having wifey buy them. But I said, no, I'm not going to spend $130 on kicks. Back in the day, yes. But within the past decade, I'll spend 60, 70, maybe $80 tops on some shoes. But anything above that, you I'll grab me some Pumas for $45, and I'm a happy camper. I'm not into sneaks anymore as much as I used to be. So I see these $130 Nike low tops, and I just can't bring myself, even though Carolyn was paying, I said, I can't have my woman spend $130 on me for some shoes. So I keep browsing around, and I find some Air Maxes, and I'm like, oh, these are cool. $70. Normally $99.99, sure. But I noticed that they're small. I grabbed size 11, and I'm like, these are really tight. So I go to a Nike store employee, and I said, you're an expert in this. Why are these size 11 smaller than the other size 11 I was trying on? And he said, oh, they're unisex. And I said, okay. What? And yeah, because at first I was like, are these women's or men's? Whatever, it could go either way. I'm very sophisticated. Listen, I manscape, okay? I don't mind showing off my girly side. And these were appealing to me. But yeah, I was like, okay, they're unisex, so they're a little smaller. But then when I look closer, I was like, you can tell these are outlet. They just look plasticky, especially the bottom, the sole. So I said, I'm not gonna purchase these or have Carolyn purchase them for me. So we go to the Van store. Actually, we broke up. I went to the Adidas store. Len, Luna, and Carolyn went to the Van store. They're just right across the way from each other. I go into the Adidas store. Their shoe game is hurting. I didn't find anything appealing. Maybe it's just their outlet. Maybe it's just this time of year or season or whatever. But I was like, man, these shoes are musty, ugly, not appealing in any way. As Drake says, checks over stripes, man. So I walk over to the Van store, and I start looking around. Well, first I walk in, I'm like, I'm not going to find anything here because I'm not in 6th grade anymore. And yeah, the Vans wave logo was the business 30 years ago. But now I couldn't picture myself wearing Vans as a 28-year-old man. But So Len actually found a pair. He got the classic black with the white wave Vans logo on the side. Um, it was, I mean, I felt like I was in middle school when he bought them, looking at them. But I started browsing around. I was like, dude, these designs, I actually said this out loud. I said, these designs are fly. They got some dope stuff. Yeah, that's me, a 32-year-old man saying fly and dope in public. And I actually found a pair of low top. They're white, but they have blue corduroy on them, little sections of blue corduroy on the toe and then a little on the side. I was like, these are speaking to me. And so, and the other thing was that it's buy one, get half off. Going back to outlets being a scam, but so mine were $22 off after Lennox's regular price. His were 40 something. So I was like $22 for a nice pair of Van kicks. Yeah, bet I'm in. So there I am at our condo gym, and this guy I see once in a while. He's hecka jacked, like super buff, yoked. I'm like, why don't you go into a real gym? But whatever. And one of his legs is completely covered in tattoos. So he comes off to me as a neo-Nazi, maybe. But he's the nicest dude. So the first few times we didn't communicate at all, whatever. And I was like, okay, Mr. Charlottesville out here. Where's your MAGA Trump hat? But then the other time, a recent time, we joked, like he was on a machine. He's like, do you want this machine? I was like, no, I don't need this machine. He's like, okay, because if you need this machine, nicest guy ever. I was like, wow. I was sorry for judging a book by its cover. And that was the limited communication we had, limited back and forth little chat, but super nice guy, super unassuming, and just the complete opposite of what I had assumed about him. So he hops on the bench. It's a Smith rack. Google it if you don't know. If you know, you know, or don't. But he's on the Smith rack. He's doing the bench press, and he's got 345 pounds lined up, which might seem like a lot to you normies. But in the grand scheme of thing, I mean, compared to The Rock, it's nothing. It's really nothing. So he says, hey, can you spot me? And I said, sure. But the thing about our Smith rack is it's right up against the wall. There is very little room for me to stand over him, behind him, to spot him. So he says, okay, so if I stall, then don't help me. But if I start to go backwards and recede, and it starts going towards my chest, then help me. And I said, okay, Mr. NN for neo-Nazi, if I can call you that. We're friends. We can joke around now. So he gets it. He lifts it off himself. I said, can you get it off by yourself? He said, yes, okay. So he lifts it off himself, brings it down to his chest, goes up about halfway, and he stalls there. And so I'm like hovering right above him. My hands are 2 inches from the bar. And he goes, don't help me, I got it. Don't help me, I got it. Don't help me, I got it. And I said, okay, Mr. Crazy Man, Mr. Trump lover, Republican. And I said, so I backed off, but I was still right there, and he got it. He did 1 rep, and I was proud of him. But yeah, he's my friend now, and we're boys. So Carolyn cuts my hair once a week. Sometimes we miss a weekend, but for the most part, once a week. 50 haircuts a year, as I like to say, because I'm a hairy dude, okay? I'm half Vietnamese, but I'm also half Italian. And as far as body hair, the Italian side shone through. So she cuts my hair once a week, and I'm super grateful and thankful. But it's the middle of summer in Sacramento. It's super hot. It's about to be 110 today. So if so when we cut my hair in the downstairs garage, and if we do it in the middle of the day or any time that it's over 80, 90 degrees, I start to sweat because I'm a chunky boy. I'm a thick boy. And that prevents her from giving me a good haircut because then the wet hair gets caught in the trimmer and it sticks to my head. It's a whole deal. So we've started doing the 5:30 a.m. haircut. We did one Monday. I woke up at 5:15, opened the garage doors, get everything set up, the clippers, the trimmers, her clear visor, so she can protect her face from little bing, bing, bing hairs flying off of my head into her eye. And the comb and the mirror and all this stuff. The stool. It's a whole production. And yeah, 5:30 a.m. She cut my hair, got my hair did, and I didn't sweat at all. It was a win-win. And I think that now that we're in summertime, summertime, it's time for 5 a.m. haircuts. Yeah, so that's happening there. My mom is coming up in 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, July 20th. And her plane gets in at 8:10 a.m. And so I was thinking that we could go to her hotel's continental breakfast, because generally speaking, on the weekends, continental breakfast is 7 to 10 a.m. So if we zoom over there, get to the telly by 9 a.m.-ish. But then I thought, well, she's technically not a paying guest yet. So if you check in at 3 p.m., but if you arrive at 9 a.m. that day, can you get the continental breakfast? I wonder. And maybe, because I told her to try for early check-in, but a 9 a.m. early check-in, dang near impossible. I've never heard of it. 1, 2, max. But what? Hey, man, we're going to be here for 2 nights. My mom's staying here for 2 nights. Can we get the continental brekkie for this morning? Maybe. How about if the tip factors in? Leave the chambermaid a pretty Abraham Lincoln or 2. So yeah, man, I think we're going to try that. Hopefully they don't mind. They don't care. When we were in Santa Cruz, the La Quinta Inn, they didn't check anything. It was just free reign. It was mayhem and cheese. It was bedlam. Anyone could walk in and walk out with as much steamed bacon as they want. So I wonder if they check at this hotel. And another thing, my mom hasn't booked the hotel yet. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago, because she wants to save $40. And part of me is like, why, Mom? And then the other part of me is like, I get it, Mom. But she bought plane tickets. This was years ago, but I remember she waited and waited because she was convinced that the plane ticket price would go down and down and down from what she wanted, what it currently was, what she expected. So she waited for it to go down, waited for it to go down, Finally, she had to buy the plane tickets because she had to fly up, and she ended up paying more. So that strategy can backfire. I want to dye my hair blonde. I think I will. Right before my mom comes up to shock her. To see the look on her face. She's seen me with blonde hair before, but not freshly dyed blonde locks. What am I watching? / what are Carolyn and I watching? I'm still into The Acolyte, okay? This actor they got playing the Sith guy, Hot Ezra Miller, anyone? There's been lots of criticism about the poor writing, whatever. Star Wars has been notorious for poor writing for 40 years. You want good writing? Go to Substack. The writing is just fine. It's par for the course when it comes to Star Wars content. It's episode 5, lots of action. And I will downgrade it. I thought it was a very good Star Wars show after the first 3 episodes. I'll downgrade it after 6 episodes to a good Star Wars show. It's light years ahead of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, whatever. I think that's all the Star Wars shows of recent memory. Oh, but Andor is a class by itself, but I wouldn't classify that necessarily as Star Wars. Okay, technically it's Star Wars, but yeah, Acolyte is a very no, it's a good Star Wars show. Went from very good to good, a downgrade. The S&P is downgrading IBM stock to a sell, but I'm still into it. There's only 2 more episodes, and I would consider it a good time. It's not a great show, but there are few great shows. It's a good show, and I enjoy watching it. And as far as all the chatter from right wing conservatives and Republicans and whatever nut jobs on who want to get clout and views and clicks, whining about the Star Wars woke and DEI and okay, sure, Republicans, sure, conservatives, sure, right wingers. Dylan Mulvaney is why your life sucks, and trans are why you're unhappy. Okay, yeah, that's the reason. That's what's wrong with our nation. You morons. No, but seriously, if you're into that, if that's your view and that's what you want to believe, go listen to Armstrong and Getty pretend to be outraged about trans stuff and DEI stuff and Dylan Mulvaney. Spoiler alert, they really don't care. They're just pretending. They're acting. But anyways, the worst thing about Acolyte is the names of the characters. So the main gal, her name is OSHA, Occupational Safety Health Administration. But then there's a character named Yord in there, Yord. Hey Yord, how's it going, Yord? There's also a character named Jackie, which is it's kind of cute, kind of fun, but it's still a bad character name. It's dumb. Jackie. And then in the most recent episode, there's a character named Mog. That's right, M-O-G. Mog. What? Who is naming these characters? Never mind the Wokalite and the Woman's Universe sabotaging the Star Wars universe and canon being broken and the lesbian witches. Oh my gosh, LBGTQIPA++ ruining Star Wars for me. Mog, that ruined Star Wars for me. Fall Guy, watch that movie. It's got 2 great scenes in there. One is when Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt are kind of talking to each other through speakerphones on the set of a movie, and there's actors dressed as aliens, and they're talking to each other, kind of communicating passive aggressively, saying things without saying things. And there's actors dressed up as aliens, kind of nodding there along. It's done very well. It's a great setup, excellent writing, very good bit. And then there's another scene where Emily Blunt is singing Phil Collins Against All Odds at karaoke and this is a different location, but while Ryan Gosling is in this shoot 'em up whiz bang action scene, which is a lot of fun. And so it goes from Emily Blunt singing Power Pop, the ballad, the Phil Collins ballad, Against All Odds, and then Ryan Gosling punching and kicking guys on a truck going 80 miles per hour. That's done really well. But overall, the movie is not good. There were 15 minutes left, and I turned it off. I was like, I'm not going to waste the next 15 minutes of my life on this stupid movie. So 2 great scenes. Watch them on YouTube or whatever. But don't waste your... the movie is over 2 hours. It's way too long. Too much crap. Too much things of not substance. Quiet Place, day 1. A few more thoughts on that. First of all, Lennox snuck in a beef stick. Yeah, one of those long Slim Jims. He put it down his pants. He was wearing dark sweats. He put it down his pants and walked right in. I thought, I've never been more proud of you, son. Because I used to sneak stuff in. I still sneak stuff in. Candy, booze for the right movie on the right occasion. And Carolyn brings stuff in her purse all the time. So Len sneaking beef sticks into the movies, that's a good time. Proud of him. And he pulled it off. And he didn't squeal. And if he would have gotten caught, he better not rat me out. Day one, what is it? Quiet Place, day 3, day 1, whatever. So Lupita Nyong'o has cancer, spoiler alert, and she puts the sticker on her skin, on her back, so she can feel good or whatever. It's not clear exactly what's going on specifically, but she needs this sticker medicine patch so she can keep going and feel good and just operate in the world. But the bigger message is that this is big pharma propaganda saying, oh, just put a patch on your skin. Everything will be good and you'll feel better. Another thing, so there's tons of whispering because you don't want to attract the monsters. Okay, whatever. But I would appreciated subtitles. We watch everything in subtitles at home. And yeah, I guess subtitles may ruin a movie IRL on the big screen, but especially with all the whispering, there were scenes where I just didn't know what was being said, and I was just like, whatever. What are they talking about? What did he say? What'd she say? What's happening? What's going on? I would have loved subtitles. But the movie overall, echoes of 9/11 also, NYC being destroyed. Lots of ash and stuff. I think if they would have stayed, because it starts out they're in this little theater, this little play theater, watching a ventriloquist of all things. But anyways, that's where when the monsters attack. So they're in this little theater with 30, 40 people, and they need to stay silent. I think if they would have remained in this theater, it would, or just stayed there longer. It would have been something. It would have been just a little different. I think they left too early, and then the Lupita Nyong'o joke about I want pizza. Yeah, it was cute the first time, but by the 4th and 5th time, you're like, okay, this lady needs to get over pizza. The pizzeria is closed, Lupita. So today is July 4th. Happy 4th of July. I vacuumed a ton this morning. I vacuumed our ottoman. It's when Frankie's been sleeping. And let me tell you, the amount of fur that terrified weirdo of a cat sheds is unconscionable. It's unreal. So I did a lot of vacuuming. I'm going to wipe down speaking of shoes, I'm going to wipe down my Temu high tops, which I wear regularly. I thoroughly endorse and enjoy. $33 on Temu.com. Cobwebs are back, but I'm forcing myself not to get rid of them, to destroy them with our duster, just because they catch the little bugs, man, and the little bugs were inundating our lives and ruining our home, attacking us. But it takes a lot to see a cobweb, see a spider web, and not just go ham on it and wreck shop. So I see the cobwebs blowing in the wind, and I think serenity now, serenity now. Lennox and Luna are on their way to Grandma Bev's. Wifey drove them. I'm doing this, and then I'm going to go get gas, and then I'm going to lift. I'm really strong. I lift. And as a final note, so we do Walmart pickup every weekend. It's our thing. That's how we get our groceries. And so last week, sometimes they miss an item. Like we ordered these burgers, and the burgers were not in my wife's car. Actually, spoiler alert, fast forward a few days, she found them in her car, and they were a little musty, but they're frozen shrink wrapped, so they were fine. I mean, they didn't leak, is what I'm saying, all over her interior. She threw them away, but I missed them. Okay, it's my responsibility. I'm the problem here. I grab all the groceries and I put them on the stairs, and Carolyn brings them up. It's our whole little system. But these hamburgers stuffed with onions, Sam's choice, by the way. I just missed. I didn't grab them, so they stayed in her trunk for a few days. But initially, I was like, oh, we didn't get the Sam's Choice onion specked burgers, onion-induced burgers. So I hop on the Walmart chat, and this is a thing. I mean, I have it down to a science. Copy and paste the order number, copy and paste the product, item description, copy and paste the price, so I have it ready to go in a little Walmart chat. And so I'm going back and forth with someone, probably from not this country, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't get those onion chopped burgers. They missed it, whatever. Can I get a refund? And so we're chatting back and forth. And then her response, when she confirms or when she's ready to act, whatever, this is her chat to me verbatim. She says, Vince, or he, they said, Vince, I have checked it here and the system shows that there is no replacement nor redelivery option as of the moment to have the missing items to be sent to you. Now here's my favorite part. However, I am on your side, so I am not going to let it just stop there and do nothing, as I will file a report against the store regarding this issue so this won't happen again on your future orders. Wow. You're in my corner, queen. High five, high five. She goes on, therefore, as an action for today, I would like to provide you a full refund for the missing items. Would that works for you? Yes, it would, ma'am. And thank you for the refund, even though we had the burgers in Carolyn's trunk. My bad, queen. My bad, squad. All right. We outie. Take care. Brush your hair. Peace out.